Canto 14. Summary. As Thomas concludes his exhortation, the pilgrim takes note of the similarity between the words he has just heard and the explanations given him in Canto 2 by Beatrice. Before he has time to formulate a question, even in his thoughts, Beatrice sees what he is wanting to ask and asks on his behalf. The question is this: will the brightness of these souls' present glory be increased by the resurrected body? And if so, how will their eyes be able to endure such brilliance? Instead of Thomas answering, Solomon himself responds, but not before the wheels dance again in gladness over such a question, taking great joy in answering these rich theological questions. Solomon explains that the brightness Dante sees is the radiance of the soul's ardent love for God, which flows from seeing God. Thus, when the soul is perfected once more in the resurrected body and sees God with resurrected eyes, that soul's ability to see will be that much stronger. And with stronger vision will come more ardent love, and thus a more intense brightness. So yes, everything will increase in the resurrection. However, resurrected eyes will be capable of enduring and enjoying that sight. In response to this answer, the two crowns of light shout, "Amen!" Following this affirmation, a third ring of spirits circles around the other two in praise of the Trinity. This is too much for Dante's eyes, and he is once again blinded temporarily. Looking at Beatrice, he regains the strength to see, and becomes aware of rising to the fifth heaven, the sphere of Mars. In this realm, the pilgrim will meet the martyrs and warriors for Christ. As the spirits of these souls descend to meet Dante here, they form a bright cross, shining more brilliantly than anything he has yet seen, and sing a new hymn, of which the pilgrim can only understand a couple of words. As the pilgrim gazes upon the cross, he sees the figure of Christ himself shining, leaving him at a loss for words. Canto 14. Sun and Mars. From center to rim and rim to center, water quivers in a circular vase, after being struck both without and within. All of a sudden, this that I have said fell down into my mind, even as that glorious life of Thomas grew silent, by the likeness that was born of his words, and the words of Beatrice, who was pleased, following him, to begin in this way. This man has need, though tells it not to you with his own voice, nor even with his thought, to find the root of still another truth. To him say if the light with which your being is flowering will persevere with you eternally, just as it is right now. And if it thus remains, then tell him how, with each of you made visible again, it would not be impairing to your sight. As those who dance the round from time to time, driven and drawn by greater happiness, raise their voices and cheer their attitudes, so too to this eager and devout prayer the holy circles revealed a new joy, in wheeling round and in their wondrous song. Whoever laments that one must die here to live up there, does not see in this place the relief of these eternal showers. That 1 and 2 and 3 who always lives and always reigns in 3 and 2 and 1, not circumscribed, but circumscribing all, was thrice sung by each one of those spirits, with such a melody that it would be a just reward to every deserving. And I heard within the most divine light of the smaller circle a modest voice, perhaps as the angel made to Mary, respond, "However long the festival of Paradise will be, that is how long our love will radiate such robes around us. Their brightness comes behind our ardor's fire, the fire behind our vision, just as much as it has grace beyond its worthiness. And when the glorious and holy flesh will be our dress once more, our person shall more welcome be for being in all complete. Therefore that which the highest good gives us of his gratuitous light will increase, that light which makes us ready to see him. Wherefore our vision also must increase, the ardor which is fired by sight increase, the brightness that follows fire increase. As with a piece of coal-producing fire, its living whiteness mastering the flame, such that its own appearance is maintained, so too this flashing now enwreathing us will be surpassed in semblance by the flesh, that as of yet the earth still covers up. Nor will such light have strength to weary us, since organs of the flesh will then be strong for everything that can bring us delight. So sudden and eager appeared to me both choruses to say, Amen, showing a clear desire for their mortal bodies. Perhaps not for themselves alone, but for their mothers and fathers, and all who were precious before they were eternal flames. And behold, around with equal brightness came forth a lustre beyond what was there, like unto a brightening horizon. As at the approach of early evening through the heavens new semblances begin, and the sight seems and does not seem real, it seemed to me I began to see there new subsistences that formed a circle outside the other two perimeters. O true shimmering of the holy breath, how sudden and candescent it became to my eyes, which, conquered, could not endure. But Beatrice revealed herself to me, so beautiful, and laughing, I must leave what does not follow my mind with those sights. From her my eyes regained their strength to rise. I saw myself alone with my lady, translated into higher blessedness. Indeed, I noticed I was raised higher from the glowing laughter of the star, which appeared to me more ruddy than normal. With all of my heart, and with that language, one in all, I made offering to God, as was appropriate to this new grace. And still the ardor of the sacrifice within my breast had not died down before I knew it was propitious and received. For splendors appeared to me in two rays with such glowing and so much ruddiness that O Helios, who decks them so? As the galaxy, marked with greater lights and lesser, whitens between the world's poles so as to make even the sages doubt, those rays within the depths of Mars, thus starred, made the venerable sign fashioned by the junction of a quadrant in a round. Here my memory overcomes my wit, because that cross was so flashing forth Christ, I cannot find the right comparison. But he who takes his cross and follows Christ will yet excuse me for what I leave out, beholding in that dawn the shining Christ. From horn to horn, between the brow and base, the lights moved, scintillating intensely in joining together and in passing. So one can see here, both straight and twisted, both swift and slow, particles of bodies, changing their appearance, both long and short, moving through the ray of light that sometimes streaks the shade that people, for their defense, acquire for themselves with genius and art. And as both viol and harp, strung and tuned with many chords, make the sweet tintino to those by whom notes are not understood, so from the lights that there appeared to me a melody was gathered from the cross, enchanting me, though I knew not the hymn. I well discerned it was one of high praise, for rise and conquer were coming to me as to one who understands not, but hears. I myself was so enamored of this that until that moment there was nothing that could have tethered me with such sweet chords. Perhaps my words appear too audacious, disdaining the joy of those lovely eyes gazing into which my desire has rest. But he who perceives that the living stamps of all beauty grow greater further up, and that I had not yet turned mine to hers, may excuse that which I accuse me of, to excuse myself, and see me speak truth. For holy pleasure is not here denied, since, mounting up, it becomes more pure.